Okay, so let's cut through the non-dual / spiritual language and be real here for a second. There's nothing at all. And that's it. Really. And so this can be seen as a very negative or bad message, but it's not. It's not good either. It's just really there is nothing to look for. There is no one here, and there is no one to know that there is no one. So it's not like you can remember this. It's not like, no, really, there is nothing to look for, not even this no one, because it's already the case. So really, that's what it means, that there is no hope for the seeker or for you, for me, to find that there is no me, because really there is no me, and that's all it is. And yes, this can be seen as a shift in perspective, absolutely. But really, there is nothing happening for this shift to so-called happen, because this shift actually doesn't happen, because there is no shift needed, because really there's still only this, and only this. Again, spiritual / non-dual language means really the life, everything that appears. So everything that appears is nothing in particular, and nothing in particular is everything that appears. It's really not complicated. It's not rocket science. It's not something to understand. It's not another concept to grasp, because really all they are just concepts, ideas, perspectives. So it's not like here there is someone that knows what he's saying. I have no idea, but it's just what flows. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna say this, and then the message is heard or not. But all of this is still, or can still be seen as non-dual language, as seeking language, as a message to give. And there's not even a message to give, or to be given, or to receive. Yes, there is simply hearing of this message, and seeking stops, because, well, seeking what? Again, words, ideas, concepts, enlightenment. What do you mean enlightenment? Really, there is no such thing. Or there is such a thing, but it's not a thing, and it cannot be felt. So really, all I'm saying is there is nothing to grasp, to fulfill you, but there's no unfulfillment either. There is no depression either, because really there is nothing at all. And it's not a trick. It's not a trick question. It's not a trick pointing. It's just really there is nothing. Period. So you can keep looking, you can keep trying to understand this, but you won't ever, because really there really is nothing, and that's all it is. And so maybe despair can arise, or much hope, none of which are necessary. If they arise, okay? But none of which are necessary, because really there is still nothing. What despair do you mean? What so-called emotions do you mean? And sure, we can label all those things like this, sure, no problem. But again, it's just label, like we're trying to label love, like we're trying to label, again, enlightenment, I don't know what else. Religions, beliefs, concepts, but there's not even a belief, because really there is nothing. So if you try to believe this, of course it's not going to work, because really there really is nothing to believe, and it's not a trick. There is just nothing. So whatever you look for is never going to be found. And it can seem at some point to this apparent somebody, to this apparent whatever, okay, me, that something is found, that something is understood. But really, what is understood? There is just life, there is just this. And this really is nothing in particular. It is not complicated to understand. I'm just literally talking, I'm just like another human being, just talking to other human beings. That's all it is. That's all it is. I just like to say this, because I don't know why. You see, we could look at the reasons why we do things. But really, again, there's no doer. Of course, there's no doer, because there's no one, because there's nothing in particular. But I'm speaking, I'm moving my hands, you are listening, maybe you stop the video, I don't know what else. And this is doing things, but doing happens spontaneously. Of course, there's no one doing it. It's not complicated to understand. It's impossible to imagine that there is no one. It's impossible to remember that there is no one, because really there is no one. Come on. Where? What? And yes, that if this message is heard, it can seem very freeing. But then again, oh, okay, so I'm free now, and that's how it will be all the time. No, that's looking for, then that's making this so-called realization, apparent realization, an experience to go back to remember, and boom, seeking continues. Seeking what? It was just an experience. Have a cup of tea. Really, watch a movie. That's all it is, really. That's all it is. And yeah, it's potentially amazing. But that's really all it is. Nothing at all. Nothing in particular. It's really, yeah, that's it.